This is Pat Grant, chairman of the board of the Western Stock Show Association, with my good friend, fellow board member, Pete Coors.
Well, Pat, it's great to be with you, and we're actually kissing cousins, not blood related, but we've known each other since we were toddlers.
Pete, give us a sense of your early days, early years, on how you started to develop this passion for the West.
My interest in the West, we grew up here, started riding horses at a local horse place when I was pretty little. I remember well going out to your dad's place out in riding. Actually, I think the first time I rode bareback was with you, and my uncle Adolph Coors III had a great interest in cattle and the Western lifestyle, and obviously my mom and my dad started bringing me to stock show earlier than I can remember.
I remember having a conversation with your and my friend Nick Petrie back in the early 90s, and Pete and I were talking, and Nick said, Pat, we need to get one of the Coors involved out here on the board, in the executive committee. And he said to me, who would you like to have? And I said, well, I know Pete well. I think we ought to go after Pete. So Pete has joined the executive committee, which is the predecessor to the current board of directors of the Western Stock Show Association. And this was about 92, 93. Pete was instrumental in getting the Coors Western Art exhibit and sales started with his friend, my friend, Sweet Johnson.
Yeah, Sweet Johnson was working for me at the time, this 25 years ago, came to me and said, geez, I think the National Western needs an art show. And I said, well, Sweet, we don't have any budget to do that. And he said, well, it won't be much. And I think it was $15,000 the first year, if I'm not mistaken, to sponsor the art show. I think we raised about $40,000 is all. But it was Sweet, and actually it was your mom, Mary Bell Grant, who collaborated to start the National Western Art Show and Coors Art Show, as we call it now. And it's grown to be one of the premier Western art shows in the country.
Which it really is. But let's go back to the National Western Horse Show and give us your memories of how you got to know Dick Sparrow and the Coors hitch in the draft horse show here at the National Western. Give us a few of those memories, Pete.
Well, being in the beer business, we're always looking for promotional opportunities and ways to advertise our brand. Dick Sparrow came to our marketing guys and said, look, I've got this hitch. I'm out of Iowa, and I would love to promote your brand. And so we did a contract with Dick, and for many, many years, and I had the joy of riding up top with Dick on a number of occasions, holding on tight, by the way, because he liked to run those Belgians pretty fast, and made the mistake one time. I got introduced in the Coliseum during the show, and I got up and waved my hat, and I clapped for the horse. He says, "Oh no, don't be clapping for those horses." So we had a lot of wonderful history, and we lost Dick quite a few years ago now. But he loved the stock show, and he loved to run that hitch.
Pete was one of the very early supporters and proponents of the idea of building our vision and building a broader view of what the National Western can be out here at the National Western. And his leadership has been terribly important, critical, and we are so fortunate to have him chair our National Western Capital campaign. This will help build out and develop what will become not only a national, but an international and global destination. Pete, tell us about your experience and your taking this on, and we are so grateful to you for that.
Well, Pat, you and others have been working on getting new facilities for, 15 years or more. When I came on the executive committee, I said, let's get going. So I've just been kind of a fan in the fire as opposed to being much of a leadership. But when we finally got the agreement done with the city of Denver, with CSU as our partner, I said, well, we had an agreement to raise $50 million for the equestrian center, the livestock center, and the yards. And I said, well, I'll take on this campaign, but we've got to have a home for the reason we're doing it, and that's the National Western Stock Show. And so Doug Jones, a fellow board member, and I started looking around for a building that we could save in the process of this move. And we just didn't see anything that was we liked, so we said, all right, we need a building. So we've designed a building we're calling the Legacy Building. Legacy Building will be 90,000, close to 100,000 square feet of space, which will house the new National Western Club. We'll have 700 seats in there instead of the crowded 240 or 50 that we can fit in now. We'll have all the offices, the National Western. We'll have the Coors Art Gallery, Legacy Gallery, facilities that will be appreciated worldwide. So the campaign became, instead of 50 million, became 100 million. I must be a glutton for punishment.
The Coors Brewing Company and the Coors family have been involved out here at National Western for several generations. His uncle, Bill Coors, was honored as National Western Citizen of the West only a few years ago. Pete himself followed in his footsteps and was honored as Citizen of the West, and that is to honor a modern-day pioneer. And Pete Coors exemplifies and represents the best of what a modern-day Western pioneer means. Pete, our gratitude, our thanks, our deep-felt, heartfelt thanks to you with great affection, my friend.
Pat, thank you very much. We depend on agriculture for our product. We grow a lot of barley here in Colorado and in the West, in Wyoming, Idaho, and Montana. Growing that, actually following the big footsteps of my Uncle Bill, and preserving and building on that tradition of involvement in agriculture. Water is so important. Snowing outside today, and we're glad to see it because that we turn that into beer at some point. And I don't think there's a more important honor that anyone can have than the Citizen of the West. And it was humbling to be asked to receive that award, and it's a huge honor to be able to carry that. And I feel there's a lot of responsibility that goes along with it. So I'm just happy to be able to participate in the way I am.
You've begun to get your family involved out here. Tell us a little bit about the Pete Coors family out here.
Well, I have one of my daughters is now on the arrangements committee for Citizen of the West Dinner. She loves rodeo, and frankly, I'm doing what I'm doing out here. It really isn't for me. I'm not going to be around all that much longer, but to see Carrie and her kids come out here to multiple rodeos, to the stock show, to the expo hall, to the yards. That's what it's all about. Preserving what is a demonstration of the importance of the Western heritage for generations to come. And it's really fun to see the young guys get involved.
Final comment, Pete, I've seen you attend and appear in rodeos in Texas and Oklahoma, promoting Coors beer, but also promoting our Western heritage. Tell us briefly about that.
Well, we're the company. Actually, the Coors Banquet brand is the longest running continuous sponsor, major sponsor of the PRCA and a professional rodeo. So we sponsor rodeos throughout the entire United States, and we think that it's a constituent population that is really important to our brand and to our family. I've ridden longhorn steers in an arena saddled up. I've even had a chance to try my hand at a little roping, and I was successful in getting one heel one time, and I thought that was a pretty big achievement. I raised 20 head of limousine heifers up at my place in eastern Colorado for a couple of years, and not doing that anymore. It takes too much time. But I just have such an admiration for the dedication, the hard work. I mean, you come out here to the stock show, and these exhibitors work so hard. You watch them early in the morning, washing down their whether it's a cow or a horse, washing the percherons being in the wash rack this morning. It's amazing how hard these people work for what they do, and it's inspirational.
That's it. Thank you, Pete. Thanks.
Thank you, my friend.